Well, you want to come over later and mess around? Sure.
Welcome to Round 10 of Eat the Buckle, the horror movie battle royale podcast that puts two movies in a weekly head-to-head matchup where the loser will remain in the ring another week, and we will be forced to watch it repeatedly until we have one movie standing in an effort to determine the worst horror movie ever made. This week's matchup is 1987's The Gate versus 1992's Demonic Toys. I'm Jared, and with me as always are my two chunky chickens, Aaron and Josh. Gentlemen,
Chunky chicken, very nice.
What's up?
How you feeling about this week?
Not good.
This weekend was painful.
Yeah, I think we may have said this once or twice so far because normally it's blowouts, but I think this one might be the closest. I have no idea where you guys are at on it. We'll get there. I don't know what I'm even. I might not even know until the words come out of my mouth at the end of this. it may
Well,
take.
you were a Gate defender last time. Has your mood soured on it? On the
Possibly
Steven Dorff 1987 classic.
Possibly watching it twice in a 5-day span is not how it was meant to be seen. Maybe more like 2 decades apart between viewings goes a long way with that one, but we'll get there. You guys may sway me one way or the other. I truly do not know. So this one will be interesting. But yeah, we'll get into it. As we sit here now for this record, spooky season is winding down.
This might be our Halloween episode, huh? I don't know if we'll record again before.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Probably not. What is it, like 4 days from Halloween? 5 days from Halloween?
5 days.
If we could record on Halloween, if we could get the next round in.
By candlelight.
We'll figure that out. How has your spooky seasons been? Have you guys actually been able to watch like quality horror movies in between this dog shit parade that we're subjecting ourselves to?
No, it's been a pretty miserable Halloween, I gotta say.
Oh man.
We've got some in, but not as much because we went on a vacation, but we watched horror movies. We managed to find horror movies that my sister-in-law could actually stand because she gets scared at the drop of a hat, like a Jack in the Box popping out. To tie it into Demonic Toys, I guess.
Yeah, so she wouldn't be able to handle Demonic Toys.
No, well, she would think it's stupid, and so wouldn't 99% of humanity as well. No, we watched The Fog and Barbarian, actually.
Okay.
She was out of the room for the Barbarian, but she managed to make it through The Fog with only one gasp.
I was gonna say, as someone who's like a layman to horror movies, like, is The Fog scary? Because I love The Fog, and we actually watched it a week or two ago, and it's awesome. But like, do non-horror people get scared by stuff like that?
She did, yes. She actually did a gasp at one of the jump scares, and I can't remember what it was because I was probably 2 bottles of wine and 3 mixed drinks in at the time. But yeah, like she actually was like, "Oh God, that's scary," and we all kind of like, "Are you serious right now?" But
was
was
it the realization of the age gap between Tom Adkins and Jamie Lee Curtis when they fuck? Was that what she gasped at?
Is there even that big of an age gap? I just think
by the looks of them, yes.
I think that's just a Pittsburgh 30.
Pittsburgh 30.
I don't know. You've got your Google machine open.
I'm gonna find this out. Let me research this.
Might be worth walking down that avenue because maybe Duncan Doe in my future on that one. But by the looks of them, there's a 30-year gap because
no, there's not. That's just what the steel mills did to his face.
Oh my God! But
their quality is better now.
Tom Atkins was born in 1935.
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, come on.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
35, because isn't that 80?
He was born in 58.
Okay. So 23 years. Yeah, so I'll stand by my statement.
Yeah, that's
Especially she was when was she born? I'm sorry. What did you say?
58.
58. So that was made in so she would have been like 21, 22, and he would have been well in his yeah, so that's creepy. But hey man, Tom Atkins can pull it off.
Apparently, he was 45 because it was
Uh,
80, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about the fog? I was gonna say because it's spooky season, I've been reading because I read quite a bit, but like I've never read Bram Stoker's Dracula, so I figured for like the spooky season I would like why not? Let's dig into that. Have you guys read that book?
I can't remember if I have or not. I know Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I've started as many times as I have Moby Dick and never finished it except maybe once.
Yeah, I don't want the Stoker heads to come after me, but what that book is fucking boring. Every time I pick it up, it takes me like 15 minutes to get through like 2 pages, and I'm just like, what? And it's not because it's like of the time, like the dialect or whatever is hard. It's so boring. And
There's more real estate
it's very
matters.
a lot of talk about real estate. And look, I respect it. I respect what, the annals of literature, specifically like horror literature. It's obviously a watershed moment for that, but like it's and it's written like very uniquely, I guess, especially for the time where it's all like from journal entries and letters and stuff like that. But most of the book is just two ladies writing each other back and forth about like their day. But like, I
Mm-hmm.
miss you. This is what I did on Tuesday. Like, holy moly, what are we doing here? And
It's not great.
I think it's time. And again, like I consider myself a pretty voracious reader. I read all the time. And like it's not just me coming out and being like, I don't understand it. It's boring. Like I think it's time that we just stop pretending that classics are good.
Well,
Yep.
I think the issue always with going back to the classics after you've grown up with everything ripping them off is that it's the very basic seed that everybody has built on for like 100, 200 years. And especially in movies, like, if you had never seen Sleepaway Camp until you were in your 40s, and then you go back and watch it, you'd be like, oh, they did jump scares and weird stuff like that in X, Y, and Z, like all kinds of
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
So it kind of, or especially like the old Universal monsters.
Mm.
Like, I always around this time when especially when they're on sale, will have like the 4Ks set in my cart, and I never pulled the trigger because I've watched them
Yeah.
and just been like, all right, outside of the Invisible Man, which is just complete wackadoo, like the other ones are just like there on the shelf, and I appreciate them for being first and for like setting the mood and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you don't really get entertained, I guess, is what I want to say. Like it's just like, all right, I'm here and I know what's going to happen and X, Y, and Z in terms of boy, I'm using that a lot today. In terms of plot, suspense, you know it. Especially like the Francis Ford Coppola Dracula. Like that one to me is like the best one.
It's great.
But yeah, like all of the piss has been taken out of the twists and turns.
Yeah. I do genuinely like the Creature of the Black Lagoon. I guess like as far as the Universal OGs, that one to me is endlessly watchable. But like I guess it goes back to like who's to think back to when those movies came out and people being like terrified of, like Bela Lugosi's Dracula is hilarious to me.
Tying back into like talking about horror movies, watching them on vacation. So like my wife and I and our families, they all go to the same beach house for a week, and it was hilarious because one year we asked my dad and my wife's dad, like, hey, what are your scariest movies that you had growing up? And number one for my dad was The Thing, the original Thing, and tied with The Creature from Black Lagoon. So of course we watched Creature from Black Lagoon because The Thing is like nothing happens until like the last 8 or 10 minutes from my memory that they open a door and there's a monster that just goes like standing there going, ah, with his hands over its head. Yeah. And then my father-in-law, his scariest growing up, I think, is Them! ! Which is the ant with a human face movie. And we were like, seriously? And he's like, I didn't want to touch grass for 2 weeks after that because I was afraid the ants would be there. And I was like, oh my God, okay.
Oh boy. I thought you meant like he didn't want to smoke grass because he got too high when he watched it. But no. A vacation with your in-laws and your parents and their families. Now that's the real spooky thing here.
Whoa.
Talk about a horror show.
Whoa. All right. I think we've waffled enough here. Should we get in?
That's all behind the Patreon wall.
If we must.
Yeah, we got to do the deed at hand as we've come here to do. So the first movie up today is The Newcomer, which is Full Moon Entertainment's Demonic Toys. This did not get a theatrical release, but it was released straight to video on March 12th, 1992. It had a budget of $2 million, so no idea how it did on home video, but probably did all right. I think it's a pretty popular movie. It was written by David S. Goyer, directed by Peter Manoogian, starring Tracy Scoggins, Bentley Mitchum, Michael Russo, Jeff Weston, and Daniel Kearney. This is about an unlikely group of people who find themselves trapped in a toy company warehouse, which somehow is built over a gateway to hell, inside of which a demon spirit is trapped, bound for eternity, unless it can somehow find a human host to set it free. And there's girls on tricycles with gas masks and some demonic toys. Does it make sense? Nope. Will it eat the buckle? Let's find out. What were your thoughts on demonic toys, starting from the top?
Oh, right off the bat, the movie starts and there's that the score is playing in the opening scene. I was like, this is like Puppet Master. It is pretty much just like shot for shot of Puppet Master's introduction. And I'm like, man, Full Moon they really had a very small window of what they were capable of doing, didn't they?
I had a note to discuss this but first, speaking of the opening scene, it starts with another dream sequence.
Yes, it does.
It's our third movie in a row, and we had just talked about these movies starting with dream sequences. What the fuck?
I mean, at least we didn't really have Satanic Panic this time.
True. Yeah.
This dream sequence was really bizarre too, because there was absolutely no attempt to make it scary. It was just the two boys staring at each other saying war.
Oh, I think they attempted to make it scary, but they failed miserably, as could just be the note of the movie. But yeah, what Charles Band is the guy behind Full Moon. Like, what is his deal with small toys like Puppet Master and Demonic and Doll Man? And like, if you look down the roster of Full Moon Entertainment, 90%, that's a rough estimate, but like 90% of their movies are about small creatures, inanimate objects becoming demonic.
I can sum it up in one word: merchandising.
True.
Yeah, because I can't think, outside of like Halloween masks, I can't think of anything I've ever seen peddled to the horror community more than Full Moon garbage. Just merchandise.
Is this the poor man's Lloyd Kaufman, or is Lloyd Kaufman I guess?
I mean, Lloyd Kaufman, well, actually Roger Corman would be
true,
the OG. Then you'd have Lloyd in the 70s, early 80s, and then you've got Charles, because he had Empire too in Rome, and that stuff was garbage too.
Yeah.
So I would say Charles was more 90s, because 89 was Puppet Master, right?
Yeah.
And then
Puppet came first for sure.
yeah, it was 89. And then going back to like the movies that I picked when we first started this thing, like this I remember from clear as day watching over at your all's house and being like our whole childhood was very formed by Full Moon. And then
Yeah, true.
when I
Very
went
much so.
back and I hadn't seen this movie for probably 30 years, I was just like, oh my God, you have to be of that age to get your hooks in you. And then, I'm sure that's what Charles was trying to do was like, basically build that whole environment around the product to keep you there because you're like, oh, you grew up with it almost to an extent. Like,
Mhm.
oh, there's a new Full Moon out and you can't go to theaters, so you got to go and hope that there's 2 or 3 copies at L&M Video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Full Moon pretty much that whole empire was built on video rentals. Which I guess is what make Charles Band is basically the Lloyd Kaufman of video rental horror movies, because I don't know that many of these movies saw theatrical release. I
No,
think they were
I
all just straight to VHS, and all that money had to have been made by just, video stores wanting to buy multiple copies because they knew multiple people and
yeah.
kids our age would be in to rent them on the weekends.
yeah, back in the day when just buying the disc for your or tape for your rental store was like $100 a pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing Demon Knight, like wanting to own Demon Knight because we rented it so much, and like in the flyers that they had at the Video World, just seeing that the price of it was like $92.
Mhm.
So yeah, these things, I guess that's how they made their budget back, just from yeah, video stores
Yeah.
buying this stuff. What did you guys think of the actual once it got to the demonic toys, which took a while, took its sweet time getting in
It
here.
was for this movie is goes on forever before they actually get to the point. It starts off with like a bust of a
Yeah,
weapons deal.
undercover sting operation.
Which I
Yeah,
don't
you
think you're allowed to ever be in a relationship with your sting partner, undercover
yes.
cop situation. That seemed to be like right off the bat. I was like, all right, we're already stretching believability, but it is called Demonic Toys.
Why were they
So
meeting outside of a toy warehouse anyway?
yeah, so the two cops, the main actress and her boyfriend, lover, whatever, uh, they're they're busting up a weapons deal, or actually they're staging a weapons deal, in order to catch the two bad guys. One of which is the most aggressive gum chewer I've ever seen in my life.
That's what
The
I
blonde
called
haired
him.
dude.
I
He
called him
he
Gum
knew how
Chomp Guy in my
he was
notes.
gum chomping all right. Uh, his his buddy, or it was either him or the other guy, the greasy dude, was
Mhm.
carrying a revolver with a Joker sized barrel
Yeah.
on it. The thing was like as long as like my forearm to wrist. It was ridiculous. Um, but yeah, that's how you start a movie called Demonic Toys. It was like pretty much a 30-minute showdown between the cops and bad guys.
Yeah.
It probably didn't go on that long, but it felt like it. At
No,
which point you also get introduced to a slobby security guard.
yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Who
you
should have
get
been Buck Flower from cheerleader
Yeah.
camp.
yeah, you get introduced to the hero who is the rebel worker at Chunky Chicken who makes a delivery to
But yeah, who henceforth will be known as Billy Badass because
Billy
that's what he
Badass.
uh
Um, and then yeah, the movie just kind of goes on from there, and you really don't get anywhere in it until the aggressive gum chewer is laying out bleeding on the floor and just happens to be right over top of the pentagram, uh, which begins the process of summoning the demons.
now I will give this movie as we have to do, I will give it credit because at that point when he's on the floor bleeding out through like the rivets in the floor down into you can see the flames of hell starting to glow. At that point, I was thinking to myself, how are they possibly going to connect this to like any sort of ritual summoning, like, and they kind of do. Uh,
Yeah, there's
it-
a whole backstory of how the baby got buried
yeah, very
at the
like
construction site.
very shoehorned in there, and like and like a speech from the. Oh, can we
Much
talk?
like much like the competition, the gate. It's just a fucking bullshit nonsense story that they just throw in 45 seconds
I'm
and
gonna
expect
push.
the audience to be like, okay, got it.
I'm gonna push back on that, but uh, can we talk for a second since we're on the subject of this demon ritual thing? Can we talk, at least to me, for me, how obnoxious that child demon that was stuck in this
The
warehouse?
kid that
Oh no, no,
shows
no, no,
up,
no.
he
Let's not
shows
get
up
there
and he
yet.
looks like he's been at the boardwalk.
With the horrible overdub that he's like trying to sync up to with his mouth
See,
movements.
yeah, that was going to be a point I brought up later because as bad as this movie is, when the demonic toys first appear, there's just a little bit of fun to be had. Like,
A, a
as they're
little.
as especially I thought the Jack in the Box was fun as it's attacking people and it is kind of like crazy and creepy.
Hmm.
The doll is stupid, baby oopsie
Baby
daisy.
oopsie.
I remember being thrilled by that doll as a child, and now as
I
an
know.
adult, I'm like, please get this. I don't want to hear it
It
anymore.
I
was
was
I don't want to look at
so
it.
embarrassed watching that because I thought the same thing. I was like, we loved Baby Oopsie as a
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
the bear looks terrible. It doesn't. I don't know. It was a really, really awful job. And then all the other, like, there was like a robot in there that was just throwaway. But there's a small bit of fun to be had. And then they bring out the fucking demon kid. And again, like, what kind of stupid wrong turn
Who
did they take?
who is one of
The
the
movie's
kids
called
from her?
Demonic Toys. You don't need a child in it.
Yeah, but that like I almost would have rather it not been answered any of the questions as to why this is happening. And they're,
You
maybe
didn't
they're
want to
just
see an old couple throw a dead baby into a trick or treater's bag.
that was actually kind of cool. That was I did enjoy that a little bit. I yeah, I didn't I didn't even enjoy the parts with the toys after like their first, you know, kill or introduction to it. I just wanted to see less of what I was seeing.
Yeah,
So
it was.
I didn't understand. There's at some point there's a girl who looks like Bjork who just like pops out of the air conditioning ducts.
Yep.
She's just living there for some reason.
We
And
need
Yeah.
a Winona type.
yeah, and she knew all about the lore of everything somehow. And the little, why were there three little girls on tricycle? What was that? There's like three little girls that like ghosts that appear and disappear that ride around on tricycles with like gas, like 1950s gas
ripping
masks on.
ripping off The Shining.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what import did they have to anything to do with it?
They were supposed to be sentries, like looking out for people for the toys to go after, I guess.
We also had a lot of phantom laughter, just like in
Mhm.
cheerleader camp. A lot of
Yeah.
"Mwah,
I think it was the same
mwah."
soundbite. Possibly.
Nah.
I did you like when Billy Badass delivers the security guard his chicken and the security guard shows him the centerfold of the month and Billy Badass then kisses the centerfold.
I had a question. Did he kiss or lick or sniff it?
He licked it, I think.
Okay, he licked it.
It was a kiss or a sniff, and I couldn't tell
I
on
also-
my HD version of this on streaming.
I'm pretty sure he may have done both. A little sniffy licky.
It was creepy.
Yeah.
And the scariest part of the movie is that security guard eating the chicken, like the noises that they
Oh,
put in
when
there.
when that scene came on, I was like, my God, I remember this clearly. Like, it came back to me like yesterday, listening to that guy talk through
Yeah.
about food. Chicken.
Their relationship was creepy. The chicken guy and the security guard just
What?
as a whole.
That was
Yeah.
that was just a guy that enjoyed his chicken
But
and a nip every once in a while.
yeah, but
Double
also,
entendre there.
I didn't I couldn't tell if like were related or friends or just that was the end of their he just delivers them chicken every day. Chunky
he
chicken.
delivers him chicken and he gets booze, and then they look at centerfolds and lick the paper.
Yeah, I guess it was the 80s, or no, it wasn't even the 80s. It was 92. What, like, there was more
Also,
to do.
why was there security guard for a defunct toy factory that seemingly nobody is no longer in business?
It's still in business. Just
Yeah, there was clearly a lot of toys there.
because they were saying there wouldn't be anybody to let them out of the closet until the daytime workers showed up.
Oh, okay. I missed that, I guess.
The ending didn't make any sense to me.
Oh, this ending.
They tried to tie together. So in the very beginning, where the sting operation's happening and the female cop says to her lover, basically, I'm pregnant, which ties into the movie because the demon spirit needs an unborn child vessel to take over. And but it goes on to show that her unborn child is one of the kids from the dream sequence in the beginning, and the demon kid is one of the kids that are playing War, the card game War, for some reason. And then at the end, the unborn child appears as a toy soldier toy.
Yes.
Indicating that somehow the child is dead and is a spirit, but is still alive in her stomach.
Because he hasn't been born yet, he's a spirit.
But why? What?
It makes no fucking sense. And that's your big finale of the big showdown of this movie is two young boys grinding and grappling with each other. It's
oh God!
What's wrong with Charles Brandt?
Maybe a lot. I looked a little bit into him, and he's, speaking of age, Tom Atkins age gaps. This guy's like pushing 80, and I think he's married to like a girl that was in one of his movies.
Oh, Band? He's 72, I think.
Yeah, and I think he's married to like a 40-year-old that was in one of his movies in the early 90s, and like he just seems like, I mean, I'll say no more. I don't want to slander the man, but
but when you're making Gingerbread Man and versus Killer Bong,
yeah,
666. You know,
God, we're gonna have to watch a lot of Charles Band films.
We're not.
Of this podcast.
I'm gonna do my best to make sure that doesn't happen.
There was so much over explanation. Like, the movie grinds to a halt when she gets shrunk down and into that dollhouse.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much. Just let me stop the movie and almost point by point, like a business presentation, tell you what's happening instead of just show it. Like, just show it. There, like, who is this movie for? Like, apparently kids and people that are stoned that needed a break to figure out what the hell was going on, and then proceed with the movie.
Yeah. Oh God! Every time it shows the stupid demon kid, and all of his scenes are pretty much with Judith, the
Tracy Scoggins,
cop.
yeah.
Every time it's like every scene starts with him like smiling, going, "Hello, Judith." Like every time he sees her, he has to go, "Hello, Judith." So bad.
The rage, I felt it in my gut every time I saw that child with this dumb overdub. I wanted to throw things across the room.
This movie actually made me feel bad for the people that, like, the guy that played the undercover cop that got killed in the very first scene. He comes back as the demon, taunting Tracy Scoggins, and it's
that
like,
would have been cooler. Why didn't they just have the demon be her dead boyfriend the whole time?
But this was the thing, was like, can you imagine sitting in a chair in makeup for 3 to 4 hours for this? like he only comes back, to Josh's point, for like 90 seconds with
Yeah.
all that makeup applied, and you're just like, God bless, that guy must have been a producer or was getting points somehow. Why would you be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll sign up for this, and then sit in a chair for one scene?
It was
Yeah.
God, what a bad movie.
And for a demon that needs to take over a fetus, basically, during her fight, there's a physical altercation at the end, and to something Josh brought up, I think in the last episode, that fights from the 80s, a lot of high knees.
Yep.
This pregnant woman took about 40 knees to the gut, getting slammed against the. I don't know biologically if a child would survive this fight, so you'd think that demon might want to be a little more careful next time he tries to kill the. It just didn't make a lot of sense. But anyway, I think we should maybe take a break.
Yeah, let's take a
come back
break
and put a
'cause
bow on this.
I got a couple other things I want to
Oh,
talk.
good. Oh, great. Good. I was hoping to hear more about it. All right. Well, we'll come back on the other end of this break and finish it up.
All right.
Are you gonna show us something? Are you gonna stand here and jerk us off all night?
All right. So what did you want to say, AJ, about demonic toys?
Well, again, I think we talked about this a little bit in previous episodes, how when we were kids, we would make movies ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do feel like we were following the Charles Band guidelines, because this entire movie looks like it's filmed in one spot, which again, when you're 12, 13, what else are you going to do except be in one spot? I think they probably spent an eighth of that 2 point whatever million on the chicken wagon.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That thing was awesome.
But you could tell like the spooky dream sequence was just in a corner of that warehouse as a set.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they found one spot in LA and we're just like, all right, we can shoot inside and outside and we can set up a couple quick vignettes. Great, thanks. And
I guarantee you one of the producers was probably like, yeah, my son runs a box factory, so you guys can just shoot there.
Yeah.
Like,
you guys
great.
just can only do it at night, and they're like,
Yeah.
say less, we'll be there.
I'm pretty sure that's the same warehouse they've used in multiple full moon movies. I think they just dressed it up in like Renaissance shit when they made Retro Puppet Master, and it became the castle.
Yeah. The Castle Freak Castle. Did you guys have a favorite so let's run down the toys. There was the baby Oopsie Daisy, I think was her name, or something stupid like that.
Baby Oopsie Daisy.
Oh my god.
That's really
really good.
There was the teddy bear, the Jack in the Box, like the robot. Am I missing any?
The
baby, the bear, the Jack in the Box, the robot.
Well,
there was a giant bear at the end.
Yeah.
There was, and then there was also the scene where they just go in with fucking firearms and just start destroying every toy in the warehouse, and it just becomes like
that's
a
what
stack of G.I. Joes, a Transformer, generic baby dolls.
Yeah.
I guess of the core, like the marketed ones, did you guys have a favorite?
That Jack in the Box is a total Killer Clowns ripoff.
Yeah,
it is.
And I think it's the same model because Full Moon has that movie Killjoy about I think it's the same like clown head that they use in Killjoy.
I think you're right. Yeah, I mean, he was probably my favorite just because he's the only one that was even a little bit scary.
Yeah.
Like I said, the bear just looks stupid. The robot's generic as hell, and as we said, baby Oopsie Daisy just makes you want to fucking put your fist through your TV screen.
Yep. That robot tank puppet master looking thing.
Yeah.
It shot Faux Nona in the elbow and she had no issue, getting out of the heating duct or like stretching her hand. I was like, God bless. What a lame demon doll if you can get shot multiple times and not feel any pain.
They really like. I mean, comparing it to Puppet Masters, like Puppet Master is they do a good job of making them like menacing at least.
Yeah.
Cool looking and get like a little bit of personality to them, even though they don't speak. And then I don't know, this doesn't have any of that to me anyway. And yeah, I mean, I guess we could say why Baby Oopsie Daisy is so annoying. It's just like I'm no prude. I curse like a sailor, but my God, this doll is just fucking fuckity fuck. Like every single thing that came out of its mouth, I was just like, I make this stop.
Yeah. It was designed that was designed to make 12-year-old boys laugh and giggle as they watched a stupid fucking horror movie at midnight during a sleepover, and it probably worked. I don't remember what my reaction was to Baby Oopsie Daisy as a young man, but it was probably a lot more favorable that I view that character now.
Mission accomplished.
I don't remember as a kid that again, not intentional, but is creepy as hell now. The transition of a child to Miss July.
With boobs out.
Well, obviously
like,
not the child, but
right. But like to go from a child to like lusting after something.
Yeah.
Just big fake boobs.
Yeah. Very strange.
It was just a strange movie.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, then the other thing in the back of my mind, I was watching this and I was like, there was a reason growing up why I ended up hating these movies. Well, no, and then I was in the back of my mind, I was like, what happens in Doll Man versus Demonic Toys? And then it's like, all right, I just spent 90 minutes with Judith, basically saving her unborn child from the Antichrist or whatever subdemon this was thrown in the toy development back in the 50s. And then it turns into like, oh, well, Doll Man's a bigger sell and Tracy doesn't want to do this anymore. So let's kill her off. And it's like supposed to be a year or two after Demonic Toys. So where's that kid? The kid is now in a foster home somewhere, I guess.
We'll have to find out.
And I was like, I don't know why that bothered me so much, but apparently, like I was going back through and I was looking again at the official Demonic Toys wiki, and I was like, yeah, they just kill her off, and I was like, that kind of sucks.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And Doll Man's like, cop to cop, I'll take care of the Demonic Toys for you.
Holy moly! Well, we'll have to root through the whole franchise.
Deep dive.
My last note was that in the flashback where the demon child is born and they give him to the trick-or-treaters, did that demon baby puppet not look like one of the little demons from The Gate?
It did.
Almost exactly like one of the demons from The Gate.
They probably had one sitting around.
That's why I actually looked. I was like, wait, was The Gate a Full Moon movie, like secretly in the guise of a different production company? Because it looked very, very similar, like an AI version of like that. Like there was some differences, but definitely ripped it off.
Yeah.
My last note, I wanted to be sure to talk about, although we might have a whole other week to discuss this movie. There was a whole lot of a sweaty, aggressive acting there near the beginning when Judith has the one of the perpetrators handcuffed. That dude gave a performance worthy of the sheriff from Friday the 13th. Everything was just real, like breathy and intense.
Yeah.
God, I love that shit. That just makes me laugh so much.
Yeah. You're talking about the guy she had, the perpetrator that she had tied up.
Yeah, the grease ball, not the aggressive gum chewer. he's got like, the shirt, of course the shirt's unbuttoned so you can see the blazing chest hair, and he's just performing at 11, and it's fucking amazing.
He gave it all he had
He did.
for this.
He
God bless him.
certainly did.
I mean, not since Bride of the Monster will you believe that a puppet that is not animated is killing a person like you will in Demonic Toys.
Right.
Like since Bela Lugosi with that
Yeah.
stupid octopus.
the tentacle, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's this movie's so bad because, again, to your point, as Puppet Master, they took enough care to make it look like the puppets were actually capable of killing their victims. In this one, it just shows you like the Jack in the Box, and then it cuts to the Jack in the Box already up on someone's shoulder, biting their face. It's like,
Yeah.
how did he make it up there? What happened?
He's got a spring. I'm looking at a photo of the puppet for the undead demon baby,
Mhm.
and it has a goatee
So yeah, they slapped a goatee on the gate
and
demon.
some horns.
It's,
It's close.
They may as well just put like Groucho glasses on it. Like they'll never know.
How much is that thing selling for?
Oh, I'm sure. It's hilarious. I'm scrolling through IMDb just to look at photos because I was trying to find that guy's name that we were talking about, and it's hilarious. Like there's stills from the photo, and then or stills from the movie, and then it starts going into the comic books, the
Oh,
Jack
God.
Attack, Bull Moon's Tiny Terrors, Blind Box Series 1, toy
Oh,
boxes, lunch boxes, the Baby Oopsie talking 1-to-1 prop replica, which came out in 2003. Only $299.95.
Oh, Lord.
boy. So that's why they keep making these things.
I want to meet whoever purchased that and just punch him in the face.
Well, I'll see you at Christmas, buddy.
And I think they'd let me.
Oh my God.
I got nothing else to say about this one.
No,
No,
I'm
I'm
ready
done
to
with
move on.
All right. Well, do you want to
Ready
play
to
a
wash
game?
my hands of it.
How's about a game to cleanse your palate?
Let's play it.
This one is called the Newly Dead Game
Boy.
or the Booley Dead Game. We'll workshop it.
I like Bully Dead.
So much like the Newlywed Game, one of you at a time is going to step into a soundproof booth, aka mute or take your headphones off, or however you can do it where you can't hear what we're talking about. I'm going to ask the other 5 questions, and you're going to answer them the way you think the other person will answer them. You'll get a point for every match.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. All right.
All right, so who wants to go first?
I'm about to mute, and you guys
All
can
right,
do
so
it.
I'll ask Aaron first question, and Josh, I'll signal you when to come back. Okay, so
I think
Aaron.
he already muted himself, so I don't know. It's going to be a lot of hand waving.
So Aaron, your first question, and I'll give you like some suggestions so you don't have to try to ask like, wait, what movies did we watch again? And then if you want
Yeah.
to go off script, you can. All right, what do you think Josh will say? Which character or actor at the mere mention of raises his blood pressure to boiling? Here's some suggestions.
Mhm.
John Carpenter from Body Bags, Tommy Jarvis from Jason Lives, Stephen Dorff from The Gate, or Leif Garrett from Cheerleader Camp. Or you can write in your own if you want to go off.
I think easily it's going to be Carpenter Body Bags because he had such hatred in his eyes
He
talking
sure
about that one.
Yes, he did. Which movie do you think Josh would say would actually benefit from a reboot that we've done? And so Madman, Event Horizon, Cemetery Man, Planet Terror, House of the Devil, Demon Knight.
I'm
Sure.
going to say probably Madman.
All right, third question. What is the most ridiculously stupid segment in a movie so far? Some suggestions. The paintball scene in Jason Lives, the model rocket blowing up the Elder God, blaming Sam Neill versus Fishburne, teacups in Madman, or if you want to go off script, think of your own.
He's going to say, well, I was going to say, is he going to get the
I'll
same
give him these suggestions
multiples?
as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he teacups.
All right. Who do you think is his favorite villain in any of these movies?
Billy Zane. Don't give me any.
Yeah. Last question, since they always ask a question about whoopee making in this and Newlywed Games. What's
Mhm.
the weirdest whoopee making? Suggestions. TP and I forget her name from Mad Men.
Betsy.
The two kids in the camper from Jason Lives. Roach and Darlene from Demon Knight, or the sheriff and the camp counselor from Cheerleader Camp. Or
Cheerleader camp.
All right. We're ready to bring him in.
I can come back.
Yep. We're ready
All
for
right.
you. Okay, so
All
this is how this is going to work. I'll ask you the questions I asked Aaron. I gave him some suggestions as to which ones, or he could have gone off script to, you'll see. So the first question I asked him, which character or actor at the mere mention of raises your blood pressure to boiling? Here was the suggestions. John Carpenter from Body Bags, Tommy Jarvis from Jason Lives, Steven Dorff, or Leif Garrett from Cheerleader Camp. Or he could have gone off script, but any...
Is there an all of the above? Is that inappropriate?
Nope.
Out of all of those, God, I hate them all. I gotta go with John Carpenter from Body Bags.
Ding, ding, ding.
Just because I want to love that man so much for the movies he's made.
Yep.
And his appearance in that film makes me hate him so much.
All right, so far he's got second question. Which movie that we have done so far could actually benefit from a reboot? And
Which one have we done so far?
yeah.
Madman.
Wow, 2 for 2. It's like you're married. Third question. This one I'll give you options. What is the most ridiculously stupid segment in a movie so far? The paintball scene from Jason Lives, the model rocket blowing up the Elder God from The Gate, Flaming Sam Neill versus Fishburne wrestling match, or the Madman Teacups? We're off script.
Okay, hey, Madman Teacups is one of the best scenes I've seen. Most ridiculous was definitely Model Rocket through the Demon.
He chose Teacups.
No, Teacups is amazing.
I was going to go 1 or 2 on that. I just didn't know if you were going to actually enjoy Teacups or not.
Fourth question. Who's the best villain in any of these movies?
Madman.
Ooh, he said Zane.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot Demon Knight
we
was
thought
even
for
a thing.
sure that was going to be...
I take that. No, I gotta stick with Madman, but yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
If we're not speaking sarcastically, of course it's Billy Zane.
Sure. 5, last question. What is the weirdest whoopee making scene? Here's suggestions. TP and what did you say? I forget.
Betsy.
Betsy from Mad Men, the two kids in the camper from Jason Lives, Roach and Darlene from Demon Knight, or the sheriff and the camp counselor in Cheerleader Camp with the football.
Well, definitely the Cheerleader Camp.
Ding, ding, ding. All right,
Yeah.
you guys got 3 out of 5. Let's send Aaron to the soundproof booth, and we'll ask Josh 5 different questions.
All right.
All right, Josh. So you answer this how you think Aaron would answer them. Of any of the featured restaurants or cooks in these movies, whose food would he rather eat? Suggestions could be Dippy, the Cheerleader Camp cook, Chunky Chicken, or the pizzeria from House of the Devil. Or if you want to go off script.
I'm gonna have to say probably Dippy.
All right. Number 2, who's the best hero in any of these movies? You got Madman, Event Horizon, Planet Terror, House of the Devil.
Definitely Lawrence Fishburne and Event Horizon.
The Fish.
The Fish.
All right. Let me get that in. What is the most awkward nudity / semi-nudity scene? The Cheerleader Camp boob off, TP's TP in his ass, Mark Hamill's ass, or Sam Neill in his barely there undies?
Definitely
or off
the
script.
TP in TP's butthole.
Number 4. What's the best depiction of hell or Satan? Since we've watched so many movies, like we've got Event Horizon, House of the Devil, Demon Knight, The Gate, Demonic Toys, to name a few.
Oh Lord. What would he say? He would say definitely, probably Demon Knight.
All right, last question. If you could belly up to the bar and have a chat with anyone in any of these movies, who would it be?
Max.
I think that's as for sure as we thought Billy Zane was going to be for you. So, AJ, come on back. We'll ask him and he will answer. All right, you know the drill because you already went, so we'll get into it.
Okay.
First question I asked Josh, how he thought you would answer. Of any of the featured restaurants or cooks in these movies, whose food would you rather eat? The suggestions were Dippy, Cheerleader Camp Cook, Chunky Chicken, the pizzeria from House of the Devil, or something off script.
I'm still gonna go with Pizzeria from House of the Devil.
He said Dippy.
Oh, I definitely wouldn't have enjoyed
The
Dippy's bowl of
cake batter.
chocolate pudding.
Number 2, just a general answer. Who's your favorite hero of any of these movies? We got Madman, Event Horizon, Cemetery Man, Planet Terror, House of the Devil.
I'm going to go with Lawrence Fishburne.
Ding,
Yes.
ding, ding, ding. One so far. What is the most awkward nudity / semi-nudity scene? We got Cheerleader Camp Booboff, TP's TP in his asshole, Mark Hamill's ass, Sam Neill's barely there undies, or anything else.
It's Hamill. There's no other answer.
He went TP's TP.
Oh, see, you got mad.
At least Hamill had a clean asshole.
That's true, but it
Oh,
was
man.
Luke Skywalker's ass. 40-year-old ass.
All right. Well, you better get these next 2 because it's 3-1 so far. Number
Okay.
4, best depiction of hell or Satan, since we've watched so many satanic movies. Got Event Horizon, House of the Devil, Demon Knight, The Gate, Demonic Toys.
Event Horizon.
He said Demon Knight. So no matter what,
Wait. What was the question again? I blanked out.
the best depiction of hell or
Best
Satan.
depiction.
Mm-hmm.
Or a
Well,
demon.
that's kind of nebulous.
Well, we're doing our best here.
Spit the Money, Event Horizon. Fun to watch, Billy Zane.
Well, you didn't get the answer.
Let's do a half point on that one.
No.
Oh, okay. Just trying to help Josh out.
Well,
All right.
and for posterity, just a general answer. Who of any of the characters in any of these movies would you like to belly up to the bar and have a beer and a chat with?
Dippy.
Oh, he said
Oh,
Max,
no.
which I thought, I told him, I was like, I'm as sure as this one as we were about you saying Zane for the best
Oh, no.
villain.
No,
Wow.
Dippy.
All right. Well,
Oh,
folks, AJ wins.
I know
3-1.
Josh. He doesn't know me.
I don't know him.
We got a contentious marriage here, folks. And that was the Bully Dead game. Or the Newly Dread game. What did I call it? I don't know.
I think it's
Doesn't
still in the
matter.
workshop.
We'll never play it again. Anyway, I guess that brings us to the matter at hand. The
Oh,
returning loser, The Gate.
Yeah.
How y'all feeling about your second viewing of The Gate?
It makes you miss Madman and Cheerleader Camp.
It certainly does.
I
It
don't
was,
know about Cheerleader Camp. I would still put this over that.
it was painful having to sit down and watch this again, even in 0.1 or 1.25 times speed.
I have some notes I'm just going to hammer out here because I don't have
Yeah,
the
we're
wherewithal to-
we're already in that point where it's just like, hey, here's some things I noticed.
Yeah. Okay. So here. I'm just gonna hammer these out. I remember last week we talked about the toy that, like, the notepad thing that the Geode wrote the.
The Sesame Street thing, yeah.
Yeah, I looked that up. That is called a magic slate,
Sure.
and they did. I remember those toys that they were very branded, and you can, if you Google it, there was a shit ton of them from like Sesame Street to Garfield to like
Yeah, they must
The
have been
Simpsons.
10 cents to make, and they probably
Yeah,
charged like $1.50 back in the day.
you can buy them for like $40 now.
Of
Um,
course.
my second note, there's the scene in the dream sequence where Steven Dorff's walking around the house and it's all like, darkly lit and neon lights flashing, and he goes into the basement and there's a song playing on the music video on the TV. I looked up that artist. The song is good. No pleasure, no
Yeah.
pleasure. That the artist who wrote that song is called Eva Everything. She had two albums, one called Boob Tube in 1984 and one called Eva Everything Soundtrack in 1991. And then she had a greatest hits album.
Sure.
2 albums and the greatest hits.
Yeah. It's her and the Eagles.
And then so I was, as I said in the last episode we did, and I mean it, I didn't say it lightly, I will find out the actor who played Angus the dog actor.
Oh,
So
I spent a sad amount of time trying to figure that out this week.
you know what I did? I emailed director Tibor Takas and asked him. I've
No,
yet to
you
hear back.
didn't.
I sure did. At least so I found he has a Twitter or an X account, which I don't have. I'm, as we all are on this show, I'm very averse to social media, so I created an X account just so I could, unbeknownst to me, I figured I would just DM him, but I didn't realize he has to follow me back in order to DM him. So he's my only follower, or the only person I will ever follow on X.
Oh my God.
Hoping he'll follow me back. He didn't, but he does in his bio, he has a website that I went to, which has a link to email him. So I emailed him and told him I'm a co-host of a podcast.
Oh God.
Please don't listen to the podcast, but please answer my question. Who played the dog Angus? So we'll follow up on that. Even if we don't continue with the gate, I will find out.
That's amazing.
I can tell you definitively that it's not Freddy or the other dog from Back to the Future.
Right, it's not,
because I started looking at who is the animal handler,
mm-hmm.
and just trying to be like, all right, would it have been the same animal pool that the same handler used? And I know for a fact it's not the same handler.
No, I tried to find the information for those people too. Anyone I could contact. So
it's of course it's Canadian, so
sure.
I don't think they're going to bring the dogs over, country lines. I think they probably had a Einstein-like dog or Copernicus, whichever dog it looked like, sitting in Toronto that they used.
Yeah, it's definitely not the Gremlins dog either, or the Burbs dog, which I hoped it might have been. Just two more.
That could be the same dog.
This speaks volume about how terrible this movie is that we spent this much time talking about the dog.
The dog.
I just have two more quick ones. And while I was looking for the dog, I found this was kind of weird. I found a band from 1986, or they came out with an album in 1986. The band's name is The Gates. The Gates, and they have a song called Angus.
Yeah.
And it's like it sounds like thrash metal, which I was like, oh, whoa, this sounds like, but then it sounded like satanic music. I was going to play it, but I'm not going to.
Did you email them to ask,
but
hey,
I was
were you big fans of Angus the dog as much as we were?
I was listening to it. I was like, whoa, this is like, maybe they're like a satanic band like in this movie, but the lyrics to the song were, the gates are open for you and me. Please don't worry. War you'll never see. Hell is bad. Heaven will make you feel glad. And then my last note, and I won't say anything else about this movie. I was watching it on my computer on Amazon Prime, and every time I would like move my mouse, like a pop-up on the screen would come up with trivia, like pop-up video type
X-ray,
trivia.
yeah.
Yeah, and the only two. This thing went hard on Steven Dorff. One of the trivia's just said Steven Dorff's mom died of brain cancer in 2009, which isn't funny in and of itself. But then like, why put that up there?
Of all, because it just scraped it from IMDb or Wikipedia, but it's just like, come on, man. It's like someone needs to look at this.
And then immediately underneath it, the next one was Steven Dorff was considered as a nominee for 2 Razzies, Old Creek Manor and Alone in the Dark. Like,
Wow.
just ripping on Steven Dorff.
Kicking him when he's
Good
down.
reason.
Anyway, that's all that's
Did-
it for me.
You brought up House of the Devil earlier. Have
Mhm.
I done a Papa Pizza report before
No.
on this movie?
No.
I remember doing it about that one.
Yep.
So that pizza that poor Steven Dorff had to endure at 14 years old was the shittiest looking pizza I've ever seen. Like, it had that waxy cheese, the
Mhm.
dark purple sauce, and like it looked like bread.
Yeah.
For
That's
the
called
dough.
Canadian pizza.
Yeah.
Because I just I actually wrote it gross with 3 lines under it. Like, again, that was what I got out of this movie, this viewing. Plus, Strawberry Quick made me want Strawberry Quick. I was
Oh,
just at the
I
grocery
love
store
Strawberry
today, and I didn't pick any up, but I meant to.
Fuck, I'm
And
gonna get
I had
some right
I
now.
think last time we talked, like, the parents had to be Canadian. Like, we knew for a fact it was filmed in Canada,
Yeah.
but I don't know that we talked about the parents, whether or not they were Canadian actors. They are.
Oh, yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
I love you.
then and then if you told me Terry was the kid from Showbiz Pizza, like that commercial where he's like, the works,
The works.
I would believe you, because there is something that the Terry said, and I was like, oh my god, that almost sounds like Showbiz Kid, but it definitely wasn't.
Yeah, well, that makes sense though, because the summoning requirements for the gate were you had to have a hole, you had to have blood, you had to have a geode, you had to have a sacrifice, and you had to have green peppers on your pizza.
And then remember, we grew up in the 80s and 90s, and the biggest thing was always anti-drug messages.
Uh-huh.
And they always had those PSAs, like at the after school stuff and on MTV. And I thought back to that, because when the sisters have picked up Al and they go to back up out of the driveway, there's like 2 kids on bikes they almost hit, and a car.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. That was the parents almost hit 2 kids on bikes. There was a car driving by that they almost backed into. And then there was like a kid in his driveway right across the street, like, oh, should I just aim for this car? And I was just had flashbacks to all those shitty, like, it only takes one drug for you not to be able to know what you're doing, or whatever it was, that I was just like,
Yeah.
God bless. This whole movie felt like a PSA, because these kids had to be on acid
Yeah.
for all of the Go-Go Gadget gremlin arms that came out under the bed, and the giant turd with T-Rex arms that they saw. Like, these kids just got some bad acid from that party, and that's the real story of this movie.
Or maybe
That's-
that pizza made them sick.
Yeah.
That was just food poisoning.
Yep.
Real fast and loose with the F slur.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm not
Again,
gonna-
it's
I'm
of the
not gonna
age.
say it, but
It's
Yeah.
of the age where that was the harshest thing you could say to somebody. And they said it right to, it was a kid's name, Eric, that looked like Mario Lemieux.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I don't remember his name, but
Yeah.
yes. Ugh.
Oh, yeah, because he's the same kid that's like at that party where
Mhm.
you literally see Steven Dorff float out of their arms.
Levitate.
Yeah, and then grab hold of a wall sconce to like support himself and then fall. It's just an illusion.
Yeah. Well,
It-
maybe that's they just all knew they were tripping balls. And they were like, oh, whatever, just seeing
He
vision.
says that at least 2 or 3 times in this movie. It's just an illusion. Like, you just saw magic happen, and you're like, no, I don't believe that. Because
Is he also the guy that comes ready to party at the end with his 6-pack of beer?
yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
God, what a stupid movie this is.
I don't know. What do you think, Josh?
I don't have
Any-
anything much to add. I hate this movie. I still hate this movie. I can't believe I ever watched it and was entertained by it. I certainly am not entertained by it now.
It was a step down for me in my estimation from the first. I think it might have been more nostalgia watching it the first time. I take back a lot of the praise that I gave it.
Oh shit.
But sorry, did you have more to say about it, Aaron? I didn't want to.
No, I mean, I have stuff if it ends up losing.
I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't want to leave anything behind because we may not talk about it again. But also, it's that weird liminal state of what's next.
All right, I'd say let's just go ahead and get to the brass tacks of who's losing this week.
All right, should we do the 1, 2, 3 again since no one knows what we're gonna say?
Yeah. All right. So again, I'm saying the loser.
We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and I'll say which one we're watching again.
Which the worst movie was.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. On 3 or after 3?
After 3.
Okay.
All right. So, which one we did not like?
Yeah.
And we'll be watching again.
Yes.
Okay.
That's both of them.
No.
1, 2, 3.
The
Demonic
gate.
Toys.
Oh no.
Oh.
No.
Like I hate the gate, but I do have to recognize that it's at least a slightly higher quality movie than Demonic Toys.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Same
And
here.
if asked which one I want to watch for another 90 minutes, Baby Oopsie Daisy or Soft Steven Dorff Face, I'm going to choose Steven Dorff Face.
Same. I think it's just more of a competently made movie that didn't. Demonic Toys just pissed me off watching it. I hated it. Like it made me mad.
I don't want to have to watch that stupid demon child with the green eyes and the overdubbed voice.
I don't either. I'm gonna
Wait a second. So Demonic Toys won?
We're watching Demonic Toys again. It
Oh
lost.
god.
The loser state.
Okay, now
See,
wait.
this is where I knew Josh was confused.
Oh my god. Fuck you, we're keeping it.
Which one are we watching?
We're watching Demonic Toys again.
Oh, god damn it.
No, it's the gate was the worst.
Wait, you said the gate. We said
I said the gate because it was the one that is the loser for the week.
For you. For me and Josh, the loser was Demonic Toys.
I know, but Josh meant
so
to say...
we're watching Demonic Toys again.
Yes.
Fuck me.
Unless you fucked up
I chose
somehow.
poorly.
Did you mess up?
Oh my god.
I chose poorly.
I'm gonna fire you.
I'm not even drunk this week.
All right, do your number thing.
10 weeks of this bullshit.
Do your number game for what else it's going to go up against.
The next movie we're gonna watch is A Trace.
3. Oh boy, it's finally one of mine, and it's The Vampire Happening.
The Vampire Happening. Good thing I'm reading Bram Stoker because that'll give me some knowledge going into this. All right, what is that on for?
Fire Up Prime.
All right, baby.
Right.
From the Bezos basement, that asshole.
Well, I guess that'll do it for us. I hope you leave room for next week because we're gonna eat the buckle.
Happy Halloween, buckle
Happy
buddies.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Bye.
It's the toys. They're alive.
Toys? Toys, did you see what they did to Charnetsky? Jesus Christ, they tore him apart!
Quiet.
We gotta get out of here! This is fucked! We gotta get out!
Shut up! Oh, you're not helping things, all right?